You know that feeling when you pick up a Bible. It can be a little overwhelming. I mean, it's huge, it's ancient, and it's easy to feel lost before you even start. But what if I told you the secret is to stop thinking of it as a single book and start seeing it for what it really is, a library? And today, we're going to give you the map for a grand tour.
66. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's how many individual books make up this incredible collection. We're talking 66 different voices, unique styles, and amazing stories, all bound together into one. So that's the big question, right? If it's really a library, how in the world are you supposed to find your way around? How do you know where to find history, or poetry, or personal letters? Well, just like any good library, it has a system, a beautiful order to it. And that's exactly what we're going to break down. And just think about the scale of this project. This isn't something that was written in a decade. We're talking about a library built over 15 centuries by more than 40 different authors. We're talking kings, prophets, fishermen, doctors, you name it. And yet, through what believers call divine inspiration, this idea that God was guiding the authors, it all weaves together to tell one single, powerful, unified story. Okay, so every library is organized into main sections, and this one has two big ones. You can picture them as two main wings of the building. The first and bigger one is the Old Testament with 39 books, and the second is the New Testament with 27. So let's start our tour in that first wing, shall we? All right, welcome to the Old Testament. These 39 books are absolutely foundational. They set the stage for everything that follows. They tell this grand, sweeping story of creation, the journey of the nation of Israel, and God's promises to humanity, all before the time of Jesus Christ. The very first aisle we walk down is called the Law, or the Pentateuch. These first 5 books are the bedrock of the entire library. Genesis, of course, tells us how the whole world began. Exodus is this incredible story of freedom. And the next 3 books lay out the laws and the covenants. These are like sacred promises between God and his people that would shape their entire identity. Next up, we've got the history section, and let me tell you, these 12 books are total page-turners. They tell the absolutely dramatic story of the nation of Israel, the rise, the fall, the triumphs, the failures. It's a real roller coaster, covering everything from them entering the Promised Land all the way to their exile. Okay, this next section, this is where the Bible gets deeply personal. These 5 books of wisdom and poetry, they get right to the heart of what it means to be human. You've got the raw emotion and worship in the Psalms, the nitty-gritty practical wisdom of Proverbs, and even the search for meaning in Ecclesiastes. It's just timeless stuff. Now, this is a super common point of confusion, so let's clear it up. When you see the terms major and minor prophets, it has nothing to do with how important they are. It's literally just about the length of their books. That's it. All 17 of these books are packed with powerful messages from God, full of warnings, yeah, but also overflowing with hope and promises for the future. All right, let's walk across the hall to the second major wing of our library. We are now in the New Testament. And these 27 books, well, they change everything. The focus here shifts entirely to the life of Jesus Christ and the incredible birth of the church. So, the New Testament kicks off with what is arguably the most important section, the Gospels. The best way to think of these is as 4 biographies of Jesus. Each one, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, is written from a totally unique perspective. It's kind of like getting 4 different camera angles on the same incredible event, giving us this rich, complete picture of the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus. Right after the Gospels, you hit a single book of history called Acts, and this is the sequel. Seriously, it picks up right where the Gospels leave off. After Jesus ascends into heaven, it tells the amazing, action-packed story of how this small group of followers, filled with the Holy Spirit, basically turned the world upside down, starting the church and spreading its message across the Roman Empire. Now, the biggest section in the New Testament is the epistles. A great way to think of these is as the mail of the early church. They're actual letters written by apostles like Paul and Peter to these new, growing churches. And they're just packed with practical advice on, well, everything. Leadership, love, dealing with conflict, theology. It's all in there. They're addressing real problems for real people. And honestly, it's still so relevant today.
And that brings us to the final book in the entire library, Revelation. Now, this one's a book of prophecy, and it is full of some wild, symbolic imagery. But at its heart, it offers this stunning vision of the end times, a powerful assurance that no matter how chaotic things get, God's justice and his ultimate victory are the final chapter of the story.
So, we've walked through all the aisles, we've seen all 66 books in their different sections. But here is the most crucial takeaway of the whole tour. This is not just a random collection of documents. All of these books are connected, all of them telling one single epic story, from the very beginning to the very end. And you can see that single story arc so clearly right here. It all kicks off with creation, back in Genesis. Then it moves through the giving of the law and the story of Israel. We hear the warnings and promises from the prophets, and then, bam, the climax hits with Jesus and the birth of the church, and it all concludes with that ultimate promise of final redemption in Revelation. It's one absolutely brilliant, cohesive narrative.
So why does any of this matter? Why go on this whole tour? Because when you finally see the layout of the library, you realize it's not just some dusty, ancient text. It's a resource. It's designed for you. It's a map for your own spiritual growth, a deep well of wisdom, and a practical guide for navigating the ups and downs of life. And with that, our tour is over. You've seen the layout, you have the map to this incredible library, so the only question left, and it's the most important one, is for you. Which section will you explore first?